Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our special guest, Christie Irwin with Project Zero. You don't want to miss this one. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV, and as you can already see, our special guest is Christie Irwin with Project Zero, and everybody knows you.
No, I'm happy to be back though. Thank you.
We want everybody to know you, and so we're going to, even though it's going to make you uncomfortable, we're going to talk about you, because you know there was a country singer said, I want to talk about me, I want to talk about you. So we should always be uncomfortable when people talk about us. But I tell people all the time, because I have your book, when I read my biography or my introduction, I'm so impressed with me because I wrote it. Nobody ever looks so good as they do on their own resume. Right. But I'm always uncomfortable when people want to point toward me, because I want everybody to know Jesus, don't you?
Yes.
And so Christie Irwin, many of you that may not, for some reason, don't know you, you're the founder of Project Zero. You're the author of The Middle Mom, a bestseller.
Not hardly.
But now this book's been out about 11 years.
Yeah, it has been.
And it says How to Grow Your Heart by Giving It Away. And that's really your life story.
Yes.
And so I'm going to kind of cut to the chase here, because you and your husband became foster parents in 1993. Now tell me about that journey. You've been married for how long?
37 years.
And your husband is who?
Jeff Erwin.
I don't know if it's who or whom, but his name's Jeff.
Yes, his name is Jeff.
What does he do?
He is a vice president of Engage Med, which is a lot of complicated medical stuff that they manage family practice docs.
Do y'all have some children?
We do. We have 6, as a matter of fact, that range in age from 33 down to 11.
Wow.
So we have 33, 30, 28, 25, 17 and 11, and then we have 3 grandbabies.
Now, and I notice you have a son-in-law and 2 daughters-in-law.
We do.
Life is good, isn't it?
I just could not have imagined. In fact, it was interesting. I was laying in bed last night just praying at like about 1:30 this morning, and I was just thinking I could not have imagined God giving us a more beautiful family. And I don't mean in looks. I mean just in nature, in the mixture of who they are and what they stand for.
My wife and I talk all the time, as recently as 2 days ago, how blessed we are.
Amen.
That's what God does in our lives. We all have a past, but I say it like this: God uses cracked pots, and I'm a cracked pot.
Yeah. Well, that's a good
and
one.
God's a master at taking the least of us to do so much for His honor and glory that we couldn't do otherwise by ourselves.
Absolutely. And I read somewhere that He does His greatest work through frail people.
Isn't that the truth?
And I think that, that's how I have felt throughout this 28-year journey through foster care and adoption and advocacy.
And it all started really somewhere around 1993 when you and Jeff became foster parents. How many children did you have at that time?
We had, when the Lord really almost tangibly spoke to me about the issue of, it was not enough to just say that I was pro-life.
Yeah, thank you.
That the world had seen enough marching, enough picketing, enough judging, enough criticizing, all of the things that we think we need to do. Yeah. The world had seen enough of that. And what the world needed to see, for me, the Lord wasn't speaking to the masses, He was speaking to Christie, is action. So what was that going to look like in my life? Yeah. And so then that began the journey of finding out what was that action going to look like in my life.
Yeah, it's kind of like the prophet said, here I am.
Yes.
Send someone else. No, that's not what he said.
No, that's right.
Send me.
That's right. And that was where we were. And so it made no sense. I just want to put that out there, because we had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
And the Lord lays it on your heart to foster.
Yeah. And so we began with a private nonprofit. We fostered newborns, which really made no sense. Why would you want to take on someone else's baby when you had 3 of your own? Yeah. And one day I was sitting in church, and I just was really wrestling with just, nobody understands, nobody gets me, nobody gets this. I was a young mother. And it was just like the Lord just kind of whispered in my ear, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if nobody gets you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if nobody gets this or understands this. It's what I've called you to do. So, you've got a choice. You can obey or you can, push it to the side.
When I was a little fella, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Craighead County, my mother, who had always wanted to be a foster mom, decided to be a foster mom, met with the case workers, and she only had 5 kids of her own. And we were pretty poor growing up on the farm. And we got 4 boys as our first placements. And 3 of them were about the same age as my brother Paul, who's a year and a half older, my brother Pat a year and a half younger. So it was really cool to have those guys there. And they were from Boonville. I don't want to share their names because they could be watching right now.
They could be.
And then shortly thereafter, Mom decided to take in an infant. And it was on November 13th she was born. We got her on the 15th or 16th, and November 13th is my birthday. And so I'm 69 November, so that baby is probably 62 now.
Wow.
But here's my mom
amazing.
and dad with 5 kids, and now have brought in 4 brothers, a sibling group, and an infant. So people who say it can't be done are right, and they'll often be interrupted by somebody doing it.
Right, and I think, the whole thing is that the convenience of it, it's going to come at some really inconvenient times.
Yeah, children are never convenient,
for
are
us, physically and mentally and spiritually.
Yeah.
But those can be some of the most beautiful times when we are just open to taking the inconvenient.
And we want you to know how you can be involved. And one of the purposes of this show is not only to share with you the vision and the heart of Second Chance Youth Ranch, but to let you know there are people like Christie Irwin with Project Zero and organizations like The Call that we are networked together with, and we're making a difference, each of us with God's grace and ability.
Right.
And there's a place for you to get involved as well. So we're going to take a brief break and come back, and we're going to talk about some great successes that we're experiencing right now at Project Zero. And one of those successes is a sibling group of ours at Second Chance Youth Ranch and Forever Families. So we'll be right back. Have you ever considered a Christian education for your child? Then you should check out Arkansas Christian Academy, Saline County's fully accredited premier Christian school at an affordable family rate. Students have opportunities to excel in academics, athletics, fine arts, and technology. And through our dual enrollment program, high school students can even achieve an associate's degree prior to graduation. Visit us at arkansaschristianacademy.org. Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. If you're just now tuning in, where you been? Our special guest, Christie Irwin with Project Zero with us. And Christie, everybody that knows me knows I don't even preach with notes. But I'm going to read notes today because I want to make sure that I know everything there is to know about you, and our viewers do too. Christie's book, The Middle Mom, an inspirational book on how to grow your heart by giving it away. That's a principle in Scripture. Given it shall be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You, Christie, let's see, it says, Christie is a 2009 Congressional Coalition on Adoption Angel in Adoption Award winner. That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
You want to tell us what that's all about?
It was really a special thing. It was, I was nominated by, I was shocked, but I was nominated by one of Blanche Lincoln from way back.
Yeah, way back. She was from Craighead County up in Jonesboro.
That's right, yeah. And so it was just a shock and a surprise, and Jeff and I went to the ceremony. It's the Congressional Coalition on Adoption is a group that does all kinds of things policy-wise and otherwise. And so we went up to the big banquet, and there was another couple from Arkansas, and so that was just really, it was really special.
But there's more. And there's more. And you also represented Arkansas as the American Mother of the Year in 2016. So you're not only an author, you're Mother of the Year for 2016.
That was shocking.
Yeah.
Talk about shocking, yes. I was nominated by someone in the governor's office for that honor. And
now, which governor was that?
Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, yeah, for some reason I didn't get to go to the awards ceremony, but I got a really neat little frame with all the other moms from all over the country signed it. And
You were the chairman of the Pulaski County Adoption Coalition for 4 years, as well as the coordinator of the Pulaski County Heart Gallery and a founding member of the Call.
Yes.
So somewhere along the line, you made a terrible mistake.
I did?
Yeah, you became a foster mom.
Yes.
What a wonderful mistake, really.
Absolutely. Life-changing, motivating, and the thing that's interesting is I never thought I would not be a foster mom. Once that began, but then our last baby was 8 years ago, and so the Lord just said, that season's done. And so to see the evolution from foster mom, adoptive mom mixed in with that, to now an advocate for 354 kids in our state who are waiting to be adopted.
Yeah, now you just raced through all that, and I want to go back to the part in the middle, because the good stuff's always in the middle. You went foster mom, adoptive mom, and then Project Zero and advocacy. I want to go back to adoptive mom. I think a lot of people say, well, I could never be a foster mom. And you became a foster mom in 1993, 27 years ago. When did you become an adoptive mom?
Well, it's interesting because the reason the book is named The Middle Mom is because for all of the years that we fostered with the agency, we had opportunities to adopt newborns that did not have families. So there were 2 or 3 times that opportunity came up. We prayed about it. We wanted to do it. We longed to do it, and the Lord said, no, the door's closed. So I always thought, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna be in the middle. I'm gonna be the middle mom. I'm not gonna be the birth mom. I'm not gonna be the adoptive mom. I'm gonna be in the middle. And so it wasn't until we moved over to the state and started fostering our very first placement, who wasn't even available for adoption, and we were on a kind of a course to get her back home, which is the goal, to rehabilitate the family, to get her back home. We were on that train, and about 6 months in, Jeff was sitting at the counter with her, and never in his life had he heard the Lord say, you're going to adopt this child. And he was like, no, that's not going to happen. He didn't mention it to me for months and months and months. But like happens sometimes, the case turned around, and no longer were we in our 30s, but we were now in our 40s, and the Lord said, oh, surprise, you're not staying in the middle on this one. She's going to be your daughter.
Wow.
And so 3 years after, we were kind of on a roller coaster for 3 years, and 3 years later, she became an Erwin.
And how old was she?
She was, when she came to our home, she was 14 months, and she's 17 now.
That's amazing.
So it was definitely a surprise, but it was definitely an incredible gift.
Now you went from being a foster mom to an adoptive mom of 2.
Right.
And then you became an advocate. Are you just a glutton for punishment? Or like your book says, you just give your heart away, and the more you give it away, the more you get back?
Yes, during the course of the fostering for the state and heading up the coalition and all of that, I began to see the hopelessness, the evasive hopelessness that settled over kids who are waiting in foster care for a forever family. Not the ones who are going back home. There is a hopelessness there, but it's a different kind of hopelessness than to be to just legally, not have parents and be waiting and wondering, am I going to get a second chance? Is there ever going to be somebody who's going to choose me? And I believed with all of my heart that they were not second best to anybody, that they deserved to be chosen, to be valued, to be celebrated, and to be number one in someone's life. And so when you grasp God's creation of these children, you cannot look the other way. You can't unsee, you can't unhear. You must push forward to find a family for them. And so that's what became the driving force behind Project Zero and the driving force behind my work in Project Zero.
Yeah, and what is your wall where you put all the foster kids?
The Heart Gallery.
The Heart Gallery. We have a sibling group at the ranch, a sibling group of 5 that you have been instrumental in connecting with a potential and probable forever family. We're going to take a brief break, and we're going to talk about that, and a sibling group of 2 that we just found out yesterday. Looks like they're getting a forever family. So maybe you're not called to be a forever family, but you are called to make a difference. We're going to take a break, and come back in just a moment and share how you can make a connection and create the ripple. We'll be right back.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
And just because my caseworker got all the paperwork for me, because I used to fight because my mama fight. If anybody don't want me because that paper that she got on me, it's like a full stack. And I know nobody want no child. They got all that paper on them. But I deserve a family.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious.
Foster care is like when kids had something done to them, DHS takes them and puts them in a foster home so they can get the bad stuff what happened to them off their mind.
At the time, I felt like a dog. The family done threw the dog out in the road. That's what I felt like, because I ain't had no family.
My mom abused me. She neglected me. We was homeless. We barely was eating.
I really like to have somebody who will keep me and not just toss me.
I wish I wouldn't have the part of my mind that still brings up the bad memories.
It's a bit hard, but I've learned to get over it.
I don't want to end up like other people that are homeless, sad, don't have a family.
I just want a regular, normal family.
And I want someone like adoption family that loves me and will always be there for me, no matter what happens.
I want to be adopted so I don't have to go from foster home to foster home.
I want somebody that loves me and only for me.
I would want to know what it is to have just a family.
I know it's going to be bumpy and it's going to have the ups and downs, but no matter what, I try to keep a positive outlook on things so everything will turn out just fine.
I would want to be adopted to give life a whole new meaning, a second chance, show someone that I'm not just the piece of trash you would throw away.
gonna send a flag, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is Bruce, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. The words will let me down, I send a flag to drown them out. This is me.
I just tell myself every night before I go to bed, I know there's a family out there for me, waiting on me.
Hey, welcome back. I know that video touched your heart, and I also know the Holy Spirit had you tune in to this program so that you could hear the voice of God on how you can be an integral part in changing one heart and one life, one prayer at a time. Our special guest, Christie Irwin, is the author of The Middle Mom, How to Grow Your Heart by Giving It Away. And Christie, you said these books are available in a couple of places, but I want everybody to go to your website.
Okay.
Can you tell us what that is?
It's theprojectzero.org, and there should be a little button there that says Project Zero products or store or something like that.
Is the Heart Gallery on the website?
The Heart Gallery is absolutely front and center on the website.
So go there and get the book and let God speak to you through that on how God can take someone like Christie and me. Probably, I know in my case, the least likely person for God to use in the way He's using. And before we went on air, you said the same thing. And all of us feel insignificant, and all of us know we are incapable in and of ourselves to do this.
That's right.
But that video we just showed shows young people in waiting. You can't turn that off, can you?
No, you can't. And all you have to do, we realized, with the Heart Gallery, which are professional photographs of waiting kids, it's one thing to hear the number 354. You think, well, that's a big number, but whatever. Then you see the picture and you're captivated by the fact that that could be my child.
Yeah.
That just looks like my child. It's just this beautiful child or teen who needs a family. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, we realized that everything changed when we gave them a voice.
Yeah.
When we allowed them to share their own truths in their own words, in their own way, and to shoot short films featuring them, allowing them to share what they want in an adoptive family, to share as much or as little of their story as they want to. And so what we see as we're sitting in those shoots and what we hear is absolutely heartbreaking.
Yes, it is.
The resolve, the articulation of what they've been through and where they long to go.
Yeah.
You cannot turn away from that.
Yeah.
And so I think, giving them a voice, allowing them to speak on their own behalf, and letting them know they're heard.
Yes.
And they're valued, and they're treasured, and they deserve the best. And I think that's one of the things that we strive to do with Project Zero, is to do everything we do with excellence, not to celebrate Project Zero, but to show a watching world how we value waiting kids.
Yes.
So are we, they're not going to get secondhand stuff because they're not secondhand stuff.
Exactly.
They're going to get the best that we can do with all of our hearts and with all of the sincerity we can muster, regardless of where they've been, what they've been through, what they act like now. That doesn't matter. We value them, and we know they deserve a future and a hope.
Now, just last night, pops up on my Facebook page, Project Zero, 2 children in the Heart Gallery have just started the adoption process?
No, they finalized their adoption yesterday. I got a message, just a little Facebook message last night from their mom, and she said, hey, if you want to post this, you can. And it was like 10 o'clock last night. I was like, of course we do.
Yeah.
So we were 2 less as of last night with that group.
And at Second Chance Ranch, we have a sibling group of 5.
Yes.
And they're in the Heart Gallery.
They are. They are.
That was posted a few weeks ago,
Yes.
and it's one of the #1 posts of Second Chance Youth Ranch ever. But you've been instrumental in assisting somehow through Project Zero, locating a probable potential forever family. Can you share a little bit about that story?
Well,
We've got just 2 minutes.
We get that opportunity a lot of times. Obviously, we don't facilitate adoptions. That's all through DCFS. We don't choose adoptive families. I think sometimes that's a little bit of a confusion as to, but we help to move people towards the right adoption specialist, towards, whatever. And so with this particular sibling group, I happen to know of a couple that I do a lot of one-on-one with families, a lot of just encouragement, a lot of pointing them in the right directions and that kind of thing. And so when I saw the sibling group and I knew their hearts, I shot them the heart gallery photo.
Wow.
Just, no pressure, nothing like that. Just wanted you to know we're getting ready to, to post these new heart gallery photos.
Yeah.
And they were captivated by that photo and asked for the adoption specialist name, which we then gave them. And the rest is history.
Yeah, and that sibling group is the most sweet, loving, hugging group of kids that I've been around forever. I went out to the ranch a few weeks back and just watched them interact with their foster parents, with Billy and Rachel, and they're just hugging. Of course, I see them here at church, and it is so exciting to see how God uses Project Zero, the call, Second Chance Youth Ranch, working to make a difference. Just 400. Now that sounds like a lot. You say 400 in foster care.
It's 354 whose rights have been terminated and are waiting to be adopted.
And there's probably that many churches in a 50-mile radius of Little Rock.
Well, the bottom line is there's between 600 and 700 churches in Pulaski County alone.
So that's a doable number.
So it is. It is doable. If one family in half of the churches adopted one child, we'd be done with Arkansas. We can move on to Help Texas or Tennessee.
Oh yeah, let's do that. So we want to encourage you to connect with us right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV and Project Zero, and be sure and get the book, The Middle Mom, and let's work together and eradicate children in waiting right here in the state of Arkansas. We can do it.
We can.
I'll see you next time right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. God bless.